Hello everybody and welcome to our class on online language learning. Today I'm going to be covering the resources that the Franklin Public Library has for online language learning. And there are two of them. They are Mango Languages and Transparent Languages. I'll be covering an overview of the differences between the two and how to access the different parts of those and anything else that comes up as we're going along. And to get started, I prefer to start at franklinpubliclibrary.org, which is our website. We can go to the Resources tab and then down to Databases. Our databases are organized alphabetically, and so we can scroll down and either select Mango Languages and further down Transparent Language Online. You can do either one of these, you can do both of these, and they do offer slightly different user experiences, which I will be covering. They also both do have app versions, so if you would prefer to do it on a smartphone or tablet device, you should be able to access it on that as well, in addition to on a computer or laptop. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with Mango Languages. So this is the overview of a lesson for Mango. I have German selected as the language to learn. On the left side here they have the main units. I have Unit 1 selected, which is Introductions, and they break it then into chapters. So Chapter 1 is Salutations and Small Talk, Chapter 2 is Languages and Origins, and if we scroll down, here is main unit number 2, Connections. Otherwise you can also just select it over here on the left side, and it will snap right there. And again, you can scroll up to Introductions or down to chapter or Unit 3, which is Community. But let's start with Introductions. Here you can see there are 4 chapters and 60 lessons. And Mango is built on more of conversational learning versus building up specific words and vocabulary and things like that. So let's go ahead and just start a chapter so you can see a little bit more of that. So I'm going to select Chapter 1, and here is Lesson 1, Chapter 1, Salutations and Small Talk. The conversational goals are listed here, and grammar goals are listed here. They also do have a tutorial, which we can see if we click See Tutorial. Learn with conversations, practice pronunciation and speaking, recognize patterns, and compare your voice. So that is the little tutorial, and you can go back and read these if you like, but we'll hit continue just so this isn't too long of a class. And we can go ahead and hit start. This does play audio, and it's a little bit louder than my speaking voice. Just to be warned, the volume will increase. We won't listen too long, but I just want to give you an example of what one of these lessons are. So if you do need to turn down your computer volume a little bit, I'd recommend doing that now. Okay, so let's go ahead and click start, and you can see kind of what the lesson is from here.
By the end of this chapter, you'll be able to easily participate in a conversation like this.
Guten Morgen. Das Frühstück hier ist lecker, oder?
Ja, es ist wirklich lecker. Gehen Sie heute ins Museum?
Nein.
Now, let's learn good morning. Ready?
Guten Morgen.
Let's hear it again.
Guten Morgen.
Okay, so that was, I did skip the end of that conversation there, but that is an example of kind of what to expect from the Mango Languages chapters and units. They have that conversation between native speakers using words and phrases that you'll learn in the chapter, and then they break down. So here's good morning, which is Guten Morgen in German. You can record your voice to compare it. You can hear it again, and you can replay that little bit of an introduction. And clicking next.
Here's how you would say, the morning.
Der Morgen.
And so then next is another example of another phrase. So this is the way that Mango works is it uses real conversations that you're going to be using and breaks it down into parts. So let's go ahead and back out. And here they have the 5 different units. Unit 1 has 60, 4 chapters, 60 lessons. Chapter 2 has 10 chapters and 196 lessons, and so on. So there is a lot of content. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot because there are only 5 units, but each unit does have multiple chapters and quite a few lessons. Here's Unit 5 that has 9 chapters and over 160 lessons. So there is quite a lot that you can learn. They do have little specialty units. For German, it's Oktoberfest. Up here at the top, they have Learn, which is where we've been, Explore, which has some different Mango movies, is what they talk about, and then additional tools. So here's a translator, and they do put this little thing here that it uses Google Translation, which translates the gist of conversation. It is not a substitute for human translation, so there might be a little bit of error in these translate tools, but it will give the approximate of the language. So for now, I've been just doing German. That's just what I had selected. If you want to learn a different language, you can click right here on that logo. Again, you can either click on German, the name of the language, or the little logo next to it. And they have popular languages listed here. You can also search the language. So some popular is Spanish, French, English, Japanese, German, and so on. And further down, they have all languages. Something you may notice is some languages have a parenthesis. Chinese has Mandarin there, Spanish has Latin American, and these are languages with multiple dialects. They put the dialect in those specific parentheses, so you can select it. So Chinese has Cantonese and Mandarin. English, there's a Shakespearean version if you want to learn a little bit older version of English. French has French and French Canadian, which they do have different words and pronunciations. Greek has Ancient Greek as well as Modern, so there are quite a few options for language here. They even have fun ones like Pirate, and some Native American languages like Potawatomi. So there are quite a few languages that you can select from here. And you can always search up here. So if you're looking for Spanish, you can type in Spanish and see Spanish Castilian and Spanish Latin American. So this is a pretty good overview of what Mango languages have to offer. It's very clearly laid out in those main units. Each unit has different chapters, and each chapter has different lessons and recaps. Again, this is more conversation-based versus rote memorization. So if you learn better with conversations, you can do that. Let's now move to transparent languages. And right away you can see it looks a little different, but it does break down pretty similarly. They have the main unit, which is a welcome unit. They have subunits, so this is Unit 1, and within those units they have a few different lessons. So this is just the other one that we can do. I do have French selected here. That's just what I had been exploring. And Transparent does use conversations, but it also uses some memorization. So there are differences in the learning. But let's go ahead and just jump right in. Again, you may want to adjust your computer volume before I click here, so I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, and let's click Learn to preview transparent language a little bit. So this has a little preview, and it is similar to that tutorial that Mango Languages had. So it has read and listen to the French, and then read the meaning. And here you can click anywhere to continue, or if you've done this before, you can click to disable all overlays. I'm going to leave them up for now.
Salut.
So this, again, has that. It has the native speaker saying it, as well as the meaning, so you can practice it. You can have them read it again by clicking the play sound.
Salut.
And you can have them, by clicking the little turtle logo, say it slower.
Salut.
To really break down those words or phrases. To move forward, you can click Next.
Le français.
And it will continue on, so you can hear it. You can replay it if you need to. You can say it, and then you can also say the English translation. Something that's different than Mango is it doesn't have that record function right kind of in this main screen. So if you want to hear what you're saying, that Mango language option might be a little bit better.
Oui.
And so on. So this is just one example of transparent language chapter or unit. And so let's go back. So they have your learning path. This setup is a little bit more confusing, I think, than the Mango languages. The Mango really separates it out nicely by having the kind of breakdown on the side as well as in the main screen. Transparent just has it in this main screen. But as you can see, they have units and then assessments to practice what you know, another unit, another assessment, and so on. So this unit here is the welcome unit, and it is kind of just the basics you need to know to get around, and this unit is really set up for going on a trip to the country. So this is something that's useful if you know you're planning a trip to somewhere that uses a different language than English. You can go through this, and it has hello, it has organizing your trip, getting around in the city, staying at a hotel, eating out, dealing with money, and so on. So these are things that you are definitely going to use if you're traveling. You're not going to become perfectly fluent by going through this unit, but you should be able to get a little bit of practice saying things so that you can be a little bit more confident on your trip. Transparent Language also has different units that you can add to the learning path. You can do that by clicking Browse. And they have all these different categories here, like grammar lessons, welcome lesson, that's what I was just showing you. They have language learning tips, an alphabet course, an elementary vocabulary, an essential ones, and so on. So there are quite a few different units that you can add. If we want to add, let's say, the essentials unit, you can click these three little dots here and click Add to Path. And it actually looks like I already added that one to our path. And so that's how you would add these. So here's a conversation course. Let's add that one to the learning path. It says it will add 144 lessons to your learning path. Let's click Yes, Add All to Path. And now that will be in this Learning tab here. If you want to preview what's in a unit, you can just go ahead and click right on it. And it'll show you a little bit more information about what you're going to be learning and the different lessons. The Transcript tab here is if you want to see what you've done it will give you a report on everything that you've learned and completed. The Resources tab gives additional resources, including some blogs, a French word of the day, as well as some different resources, including here's a little promotion for their mobile app, some video tutorials, proficiency tests, and so on. They also have this great resource called KidSpeak, which is for children to learn different languages, so you can go ahead and click on KidSpeak. And it's a pretty dramatic change from the adult one. A little bit silly here. Let's back out of that. So that KidSpeak here is it's aimed for children. So if you have children at home or children in your life that want to practice a different language, or if you're traveling with them to a different country, that's a way for them to learn some vocabulary as well. So before we wrap up, let's cover how to change languages in Transparent as well. So in here you can see French. You can click there. It will store your recent languages. So I had also played around in the German for English speakers here. And it also gives related languages, so French, Canadian dialect for English speakers, and Moroccan. If you want to see all the languages, you can click More Languages. And this is just an alphabetical list of all the different languages they offer here. And in yellow, they have the different dialects. So Arabic has 4 different dialects, Chinese has 2, and so on. And the green show the languages that the KidSpeak children's learning is available. So it's not as many, but it does have what are kind of considered the main language learning ones, so Chinese, German, English, French, Italian, and Spanish. So they do have quite a few of those KidSpeak languages as well. Okay, so that is pretty much all I have for Transparent languages. Again, they do organize the lessons differently. They have different learning objectives and learning styles. Both do have that audio where the person says it and you hear it and then you repeat it. Again, both are free to use for Franklin Public Library patrons, so there's no harm in using both. You can use both for as long as you want, or if you prefer one over the other, you can do that. Again, both of them do have a mobile app version, so if you prefer to learn on a tablet or smartphone, you can do that. You can use both the app and the website version. And again, I recommend starting off on our website, franklinpubliclibrary.org, going down to Resources, and then Databases. And our databases are listed alphabetically, so you can go down and select Mango Languages and Transparent Language Online. Well, I hope you all learned something new today. If you are interested in learning a different language, even just a little bit, both of these provide some great learning opportunities for many, many different languages, and they also offer that flexibility of either using the website or the mobile app. So I highly recommend trying one or both out and seeing what you like, and we hope you learn a little bit. If you do have any questions, feel free to come on into the library and we will be happy to help you out, especially getting set up with a new account. And getting started is typically the hardest part, but once you get going, both are pretty easy to follow. Alright, that is all I have for you today, and I hope you catch us at the next lesson.